Welcome to this knowledge-based video on commission payments. Welcome to the knowledge-based video on applying commission payments. In this video, we'll take commissioned invoices from commissioned orders and apply a payment to it. You'll see in this example in invoices, I have 3 commissioned invoices from the lighting manufacturer for 3 customers. To initiate the payment from the lighting manufacturer, you go to the payment section, click the big green plus. You'll enter your manufacturer in the list, and it'll open up the payment editor. It has gone ahead and pulled in all the open invoices that I had that were already in this date range. But if you needed to adjust the date range for whatever reason and rescan, or if you needed to show closed invoices, you could check this to rescan and pull in all your invoices from this manufacturer. Next, you'll enter the check number and the check amount. Well, let's just say that the check was for $330. And you'll notice on the right side that the difference shows $330, and that's because all these columns are 0, and it's saying that you brought in $330, but nothing's been applied, so the difference is $330. Now you can go through and check all the invoices that apply to this payment. As I click this checkbox, all it does is grab the total amount of the commission that's due on that invoice and pulls it over into the paid column. If for whatever reason you know that you're not getting paid that exact commission, you can adjust it as needed. As you make adjustments, the total commission will change as well as the difference will change. If you need to completely unapply a invoice to this payment, you can check the box again and it will pull it out. And if you need to add an invoice that maybe is not listed on here, I'm going to type this one in that it already is on here, but let's say you wanted to enter one that's not on the list right now. You could type it in there, put in the amount there and hit paid. It would pull it in if it wasn't in place and put the amount that you listed and paid there and check it. You'll see that the commission balances right now are all 0. So Oasis is saying, okay, you've met the criteria to close invoice based on your settings. And since these invoices were single invoices to the order, it's met all the requirements to close the order. That it's covered in another set of instructions, but you can set these up, the parameters on how you close your invoices and how you close the orders as you hit certain thresholds. Say, for example, as long as 95% of a invoice is paid, you go ahead and allow it to close. And it does list other information here as you need. When you are done applying all the payments, you'll see that, or applying all the invoices to this payment, you'll see that there's a difference. In this case, we are short by $12.25 because we received $330, but the invoices that we're applying the payment to total $342. Well, let's say you had, the reason for this, and it is because you had to pay for an item that was returned outside of some criteria, for example, and so you can enter that in. We'll say returned damaged item, and for whatever reason your agency is having to pay for that. And as you can see now, this amount is applied into adjustments, and everything is reconciled accordingly. Ideally, you want to set it where the difference is always 0, so if you know what the adjustment is for. You could do the opposite. Let's say the check was for $350. Then you could enter in that this was a kickback of some kind that you received from the manufacturer, and that is adjusted accordingly. You can enter in these reference columns if you need to. If you need to note that which invoice number, which PO number, or which account ID that this is applied to, if you need to reference that for other purposes, maybe who earned the kickback or who cost the company the returned item. And now let's just say, for example, you don't have a reason, but you did receive overpayment and you think they just by mistake sent you a little too much. That's okay. You can leave this in here and this amount will be forwarded and it'll show up in the next payment from lighting manufacturer in the forwarded column to be applied at a future point. When you're done with editing the payment, you would click Save and Close. And as you can see, when I search for today's payments, it shows up here. You can double click it to open it. And you'll find that many times a payment from a manufacturer covers so many invoices that it takes a while to input this information. So you may need to enter a few lines, save and close, go work on something else, and come back to it later and enter more as you're slowly working towards a difference of zero or the amount that you know is accurate. Once you've spent all the time you need to get it correct, you can then post the payment. And what this is it locks the payment in as now complete and lets these values be applied to all reports and other factors or other places in Oasis, and it'll prevent it from being changed. So in this case, we'll click Post Payment. It'll confirm that you want to finalize everything. You click Post, it'll confirm it again. And now you'll see that you cannot make changes. All these values now will show up on payments and be applied to the invoices appropriately. Before post payment, the payment will list in the attachments and be associated with the invoice, but it won't actually apply to the totals of the invoice until you hit the post payment. If I hit Save and Close and refresh my view, you'll see that now it shows the payment is posted and you still can't make any changes. If for whatever reason you do have to go back in and make changes, you can click File, Unpost. It'll say, are you certain? You click Yes, and when you go back into it, it's now editable as needed, only to be reposted when you're ready. This concludes the video for commission payments. There'll be other videos for resale payments and other sections of Oasis. Please check out our knowledge base video library for more videos.